The last property of the laser is its high degree of coherence. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about coherence in detail, and we will discuss about the types of coherence. So we have already discussed about temporal and spatial coherence in the previous semester, but we are going to discuss about spatial coherence in more detail. Now, the high degree of coherence, this property of the laser, it distinguishes the laser from the other sources of light. So the ordinary sources of light, the conventional sources of light, they have very less degree of coherence as compared to laser. And in the case of laser, as we have already discussed, that laser has high directionality. The second one was its high intensity. And the last one that we discussed was the high degree of monochromaticity. So all these three properties of the laser, they are in one way or the other are related to the coherence, to the high degree of coherence in the case of laser. So they all are interrelated. Now the term coherence refers to the degree of correlation between the phases at different points and different times in a beam of light or radiation. As we have already said that the light waves, we generally picturize the light wave as a sinusoidal wave, but in actual practice it is not exactly sinusoidal. Now the correlation between the phases, so if there is a very good correlation between the phases at different points and different times, then we say that the source has a very high degree of coherence. So if you know the phase of the wave at one point and you can easily predict the phase at another point in space, so you say that you can correlate the phases. So if you know the phase at one point, you can predict the phase at a different point. And also, if you know the phase at one time at a single point, let's say if there is a point in space and wave is traveling through this point. So at this point, the phase of the wave will change with time. So as the time will pass, the wave will propagate in this direction. So the phase at this point will keep on changing. So at one particular point and at a particular time, so at this point and at a particular time, if you know what is the phase, then you can easily predict the phase at the same point but at a different time. Because it is a sinusoidal wave, you can easily calculate the phase. Now coherence is of two types. First is the temporal coherence. It is also called as longitudinal coherence. And another is the spatial coherence or the transverse coherence. Now in this case, temporal coherence, you will come up with the term coherence time and also with the coherence length. And in the case of spatial coherence, you will come up with the term that is the transverse coherence length. So in the case of temporal coherence, you will be introduced with the longitudinal coherence length. And in the case of spatial or transverse coherence, you will be introduced with another term which is transverse coherence length. And we will see what are these all terms. Now we are going to discuss about the temporal coherence or the longitudinal coherence. So here I have shown a picture of a sinusoidal wave. So this is an idealistic picture. So this direction is the direction of the electric field. So this is the electric displacement vector points in this direction or in the negative direction. And this is the position vector, or you can say the direction of propagation of the light. So this is the sinusoidal wave, and this picture which I have shown, this is at a particular instant of time. So as time will pass, the wave will propagate in this direction and the phase will keep on changing at every point. But this wave which I have drawn over here, this is at a particular instant of time. And this is the direction of propagation of the wave. So here I have taken a single point. Over here I have taken a single point in space and I can find out the phase of the wave at this point. Since this wave, this representation of the wave is at a particular instant of time. So at this point, the phase which I will get, the phase will be at this point in space and at this time, at this instant of time. So I can easily calculate the phase at this point and at this instant of time. Then as the time passes, as the time will pass, the wave will propagate, and at some other time, if I will draw the same wave, the wave will have shifted towards this direction, and at some other time, instead of time, if I will find the phase, then the phase that I will get, it will be a different value. So here we define the temporal coherence of the wave. So if the wave is sinusoidal, you can easily predict the phase at different instant of times. At the same point in space, but at different instant of times, you can easily calculate, you can easily predict the value of the phase, since this wave is sinusoidal wave. So in the case of temporal coherence, it is a type of coherence in which the field, or the more specifically the electric field, it is a type of coherence in which the field at a point, at a particular time, and at the same point, but at some later time are related. So the fields, the electric fields, or you can say the phase. So you can also write over here electric field, and in place of that you can also write the phase of the electric field. So the electric field at this point, at this instant of time, is related with the electric field at the same point but at a different time. So it is a type of coherence in which the field at a point, at a particular instant of time, and at the same point but at some later time are related. So if you know the phase at this point in space and at this time interval, if you know the phase, you can easily find the phase at the same point but at a later time. So this is what we call as the temporal coherence. But in actual practice, the light wave, the wave which is emitted from the sources, is not continuous. It is not completely sinusoidal. The actual picture of the wave is, it appears something like this. So here you can see that the electric field oscillates sinusoidally, but after some interval of time. Now here, this horizontal axis was the position vector. It was the direction of the propagation of the wave. But over here, I am taking this axis as the time interval. So I am taking at a point in space. So here I have fixed the point where I am observing the phase. So here I was observing the phase at this point. So I had fixed the point over here in space. So here we will have a particular value of the r. So here we had fixed the position. But here in this case I have taken the horizontal axis as the time axis, and these all things, they happen at a single point in space. So they happen at a single point in space. So here I have fixed the position. Since you can see that if you fix the position over here and the light wave, it propagates in this particular direction with time. So this picture which I had drawn, this was at particular instant of time. But as time will pass, the wave will keep on propagating, and the phase at this point will keep on changing. As the wave will propagate with time, the phase will keep on changing with time. Since it is a sinusoidal wave, so the phase will also keep on changing sinusoidally at this point. At a one point in space, the phase will keep on changing sinusoidally with time. So here I have taken this axis as the time axis, but I am observing the phase at a single point. So these all phases, they appear at a single point but with change in time. So as the time progresses, the phase will keep on changing sinusoidally. But in actual practice, the phase does not change sinusoidally. For some time interval, the phase changes sinusoidally, the wave appears to be sinusoidal, but after some time interval there is an abrupt change in the phase. And the reason we have already discussed in the previous semester, that why does the phase changes abruptly. So the reason behind the abrupt change comes from the emission process. So the reason behind the abrupt change in the phase of the wave have already discussed in the previous semester. So you can go to that lecture of temporal and spatial coherence where we have discussed about the abrupt change in the phase. So for some time interval at one point in space, so we are talking about at a point in space, the phase changes sinusoidally, but after that it changes abruptly. So it changes abruptly, and again after that the phase changes sinusoidally, but after some interval of time again it changes abruptly. So this thing keeps on happening with time. So for some time interval again the wave will propagate continuously, and again there will be abrupt change in the phase. So this time interval for which the wave is sinusoidal, that is there is no abrupt change in the phase, for some time interval, this time interval is called as the coherence time. So if there is a definite phase correlation, so in this particular time slot, you can see that the wave is sinusoidal. And if you know, let's say if you know the phase at this point, you can easily predict the phase at another point, but you cannot predict the phase at this point. So if you know the phase of the wave at this point, you can predict the phase at any point, at any instant of time, but that instant must be less than this coherence time. After this coherence time, there is an abrupt change in the phase. So after that, you cannot predict the phase. So if you know the phase at this point, you cannot predict the phase at this point, that at this instant of time or in this region. So you can only predict the phase in this region because the wave is continuous. The similar thing happens over here. If you know the phase at this point, you can predict the phase at this point. You can predict the phase at this point because the wave is sinusoidal. But if you know the phase at this point, you cannot predict the phase at another point, or you can say at another instant of time when the time is greater than the coherence time. So in this time slot only there is a phase correlation, or you can say only in the time which is less than this coherence time, only in that time slot we can predict the phase. So if there is a definite phase correlation between the electric fields of light at particular point, at a point in space, at a particular point for an interval tau c. So there is a definite phase correlation for an interval tau c. So in this tau c interval of time, there is a definite phase correlation. If you know the phase at one point, you can predict the phase at another point, at the another instant of time, but at the same point in space. So we are talking about at one point in space. In case of temporal coherence, we always talk about a single point in space. So for tau c interval of time, there is a definite phase correlation. So we say that there is temporal coherence for tau c. For tau c time, there is temporal coherence. So there is a definite phase correlation for a limited period. And what is the limited period? That is tau c. So in this time interval, we have a definite phase correlation. So tau c is called as the coherence time. So during this time interval, the wave will travel some distance in space. So in this time interval, in this coherence time, whatever the distance is traveled by the wave in space, it is called as coherence length. So it is called as, during this time, the wave travels a distance L. So this L is called as coherence length, and it is equal to, coherence length is equal to C into tau c. So in this time interval tau c, the wave travels a certain distance in space, and since we are considering that it is traveling in vacuum, so we are taking velocity of the light is equal to c. So the length which is traveled in space by the wave in tau c interval of time is called as coherence length. More specifically, this coherence length in the case of temporal coherence. Now temporal coherence is also termed as longitudinal coherence. So in this case, this coherence length is called as longitudinal coherence length. So more specifically, it is called as longitudinal coherence length. Now for ordinary light source, this coherence time, for the case of any ordinary light source, this coherence time is of the order of 10 power minus 10 seconds. So for any ordinary light source, this coherence time is of the order of 10 power minus 10 seconds. And if you will calculate the coherence length, corresponding coherence length in the case of ordinary light source, that is, if you will calculate c into tau c for the case of ordinary light source, it will come out to be 3 centimeters. So for ordinary light source, the coherence length or the coherence time, these are the, now coherence time is the time in which you can predict the phase, or you can say the wave is sinusoidal in this time interval. After this time, the wave will change its phase abruptly and you cannot predict the phase of the wave. So similar thing is for the case of coherence length. So for this much distance, 3 centimeters, you can easily predict the phase, or you can say the wave is sinusoidal, is completely sinusoidal in 3 centimeters for the case of ordinary light source. And after that, you cannot predict the phase. The phase, they are not related. But in the case of laser, the coherence time, for the case of laser source, coherence time is of the order of 10 power minus 3 seconds. For the case of laser, the coherence time is of the order of 10 power minus 3 seconds. So you can clearly see that the coherence time for the case of laser is very large as compared to the coherence time for the case of ordinary light source. And if you will calculate the coherence length for the case of laser, it will come out to be 3000 kilometers. For the case of laser, the coherence length comes out to be about 3000 kilometers, and you can see that the coherence length, the length for which the wave is sinusoidal in the case of laser, is very large as compared to that of the ordinary light source. Now one more thing over here, that you can see that at these instant of times, you cannot predict the phase, or you cannot say what is the wavelength of the light. So if you are in this time region, you can easily predict, you can easily calculate the wavelength of the light. But if you look at these instant of times, you cannot predict you cannot say what is the wavelength of the light wave. So there is some uncertainty in measuring the wavelength of the light from any source. So from any source, the wave is not completely sinusoidal. After some time interval, there is an abrupt change in the phase, and you can clearly see that if the wave is not completely sinusoidal, you cannot say exactly what is the wavelength of the light. So at these points, there is an uncertainty in measuring the wavelength, or you can say the frequency of the wave. In the case of laser also, there is some uncertainty. Though in the case of laser, the length, or you can say the time for which the wave is sinusoidal, is very large as compared to that of ordinary light source. But in the case of laser also, after some time interval, that is after about 10 power minus 3 seconds, there is an abrupt change in the phase. So in the case of laser also, there is an uncertainty in measuring the frequency or the wavelength of the light. So more is the coherence time, less will be the uncertainty in measuring the frequency. Or you can say what is uncertainty in measuring the frequency, that is, it is delta nu, which is the line width. So if the wave is completely sinusoidal, if it is completely sinusoidal like this, then it is perfectly monochromatic. Then it is perfectly monochromatic, but we have already studied that perfectly monochromatic light does not exist. So in the case of laser also, the light is not perfectly monochromatic. There is high degree of monochromaticity, but we cannot say that the degree of monochromaticity is 100% in the case of laser. So it is not 100% in the case of laser also, though the degree of monochromaticity is very large as compared to ordinary light source. So in the case of laser also, we will have a line width. That is, there will be uncertainty in measuring the frequency of the light which is coming from the laser. And more is the coherence time. If the coherence time is very large, then lesser will be this line width. This uncertainty in finding the frequency will be less. So the coherence time and the uncertainty in this, or you can say the line width, they are reciprocal to each other. So the coherence time is equal to 1 divided by delta nu. So this is the relation of coherence time with the line width of the light. So for the case of laser, this coherence time is very large. So this delta nu or the line width is very less. But for the case of ordinary light source, the coherence time is less. So uncertainty in this frequency will be large for the case of ordinary light source. Now we are going to discuss about spatial coherence. In the case of temporal coherence, we considered one wave and we took a one point, we fixed one point in space, and we defined temporal coherence as the degree of correlation between the phases at one point in space but at different times. So we fix the point in space. In the case of temporal coherence, we take one single point in space, but we can relate the phases at different times. So that is what we call as temporal coherence. In the case of spatial coherence, the spatial coherence refers to the phase relationship, the phase correlation between the waves traveling side by side. So here we take two waves at a certain distance from each other. So these two waves, they are a part of a beam. So here we have one beam of light which is coming from one source, and in this we have considered only two light rays. So there will be large number of light waves which will be traveling in this direction, but here we are just taking two light waves for simplicity. Spatial coherence refers to the phase relationship between the waves. So between these two waves, there is a phase relationship which are traveling side by side at a certain distance from each other. So we will discuss about this spatial coherence in more detail. Now another definition is that a beam of light, so this is the beam of light, possesses a spatial coherence. So a beam of light is said to have spatial coherence if the phase difference between the light waves crossing 2 points. So in the case of spatial coherence, we take 2 points. In the case of temporal coherence, we just took 1 point. Here we take 2 points in space. So this is the 1 point and this is the another point. And we are considering two waves. So these two waves, the first wave will pass through this P1 point and the second wave, it will pass through this P2 point in space. So here we have taken two different points in space. In the case of temporal coherence, we just took 1 point in space, but here we take 2 points in space and we consider two light waves which are crossing these 2 points. So a beam of light is said to have spatial coherence if the phase difference between the light waves crossing the 2 points on a plane perpendicular to the direction of propagation of beam. So this is the plane which I have drawn, which is perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So let's say the wave is traveling in this direction and this is the plane which is perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the light. So there are 2 points there are 2 points on this plane where the first and second wave cross. So P1 is the point where first wave touches the plane and second wave touches the plane at P2 point. So at these 2 points there will be 2 phases. So there will be phase of the first wave at P1 point, so there will be some phase, and the second wave will have another phase at P2 point. So there will be 2 phases, and over here we take the phase difference. The phase difference between the light waves. So here the first light wave has a certain phase at P1 point, and at P2 point the second wave has another phase. So if we take the phase difference crossing the 2 points on a plane perpendicular to the direction of propagation of beam is time independent. So this phase difference which you take at 2 different points for the 2 light waves, the phase difference that you take is time independent. So if you take the phase difference at P1 and P2 at some another time interval, at some another instant of time, so if you take the phase difference in that case at that instant, then the phase difference will remain the same. So there will be a change in the phase as the light will propagate with time. There will be a change in the phase at P1 point, and so there will be a change in the phase at P2 point also. But the phase difference between these 2 points is time independent. So as time will pass, the phase will change. At P1 and P2 the phase will change, but the phase difference will remain the same. So the phase difference is time independent. So that is what we refer as spatial coherence. So we consider E1 and E2 be the electric fields at P1 and P2 of the wavefront. So this is the wavefront. So this is a plane wave. This is a planar wavefront. Now the wave, it is traveling in this direction. So the wavefront, they are traveling parallel to each other. So the wavefront is a planar wavefront. So E1 and E2 be the electric fields at P1 and P2. So at P1 we have E1 electric field. The displacement is E1 vector, and at P2 we have E2 vector. So these are the electric fields at P1 and P2 of the wavefront. If these electric fields at any 2 points on the wavefront, if these 2 electric fields E1 and E2 at any 2 points on the wavefront have a constant phase difference, so they have a constant phase difference over any time t, then there will be spatial coherence between the 2 points. But in actual, for any point P1, in actual practice, for any point P1, the point P2 must lie within some finite area. As we have said over here that at P1 point there is one phase and at P2 point there is another phase. And if you take the phase difference, that phase difference must always remain constant at any time instant. But in actual practice, for any point P1 on the wavefront, the P2 point must lie in a finite region of space, only then the phase difference will remain constant. In actual practice, for this point P1, the P2 point corresponding to P1 point, this P2 point must lie in a specific area around P1 point, only then the phase difference will remain constant over time. So this finite area in which the point P2 must lie, so that spatial coherence is maintained, this area is called as coherence area. So in this coherence area, only if these P1 and P2 points are lying, only then there will be a definite phase correlationship, or you can say there will be a good phase correlation. Then the distance P1, P2, in this case, as we have said that there is a particular limited area, finite area in which P1 and P2 must lie so that there is a good phase correlation. So this distance P1, P2, this distance P1 to P2, this finite distance is called as longitudinal coherence length. So this distance P1 to P2, this distance is called as longitudinal coherence length. As we have said that in actual practice, for any point P1, the P2 point must lie within some finite area surrounding the point P1 in order to have a good phase correlation. So this distance, this maximum distance that can be possible between P1 and P2, so that there is a good phase correlation maintained, that distance is called as longitudinal coherence length. And we are going to calculate the formula of longitudinal coherence length in the case of extended source in the next lecture. So we will calculate the formula of the longitudinal coherence length, the maximum length between the 2 points, so that there is a good correlation in phases is maintained. So we are going to find out this length, longitudinal coherence length, for the case of extended source, and we will do the derivation in the next lecture.